Record of Fugitives, August 1855. From the papers of Sidney Howard Gay. Read by Frank Blissett. August 10th. Sarah's children are at last found, and arrangements made with a colored woman to walk off with them. This morning Napoleon was sent with them to Syracuse. August 14th. Napoleon returned from Syracuse. Sarah has now all her children with her. Napoleon never saw such a time as when they met. Jacob says he supposes the abolitionists have got them and is not disposed, apparently, to create any difficulty. Expenses: Napoleon going to New Haven, $3. Napoleon and Sarah to New Haven and Albany, $10.50. At Albany, $2. Napoleon from Albany, $1. Children from Brooklyn, carriage, $2. To Syracuse, etc., $15.37. Total, $33.87. August 17th. Laura Lewis, belonging to Mrs. Lewis of Bardstown, Kentucky, but hired for several years to Mrs. Johnson of Louisville, was brought to Baltimore by her. Left Mrs. Johnson and came on to Philadelphia, and was forwarded thence by William Still. Laura's story is that her master died about 25 years ago, and left her and a number of other slaves free by will at the death of his wife. His mistress died in March, and the slaves, instead of being emancipated, were taken to satisfy an old debt of Mr. Johnson's. They were to be sold in October at auction. 4 ran away a few days since. Laura is the 5th fugitive, and others, she says, will follow their example. The 4 who left before she started from Louisville took her baggage. She is to meet them at St. Catherine's, C.W. At Harrisburg her pocket was picked of $82, and she needed aid. She had been well treated, well clothed, and so far as her physical circumstances were concerned, was very well satisfied with her condition. But she did not mean to be sold and take a new lot. Her present mistress had allowed her many privileges, so that with taking in washing and making preserves, she had accumulated some money. But for her loss at Harrisburg, she would have made the journey to Canada without troubling anyone. Lizzie Banks came on with Laura. She is originally from near Easton, Maryland, but has lived in Philadelphia for 2 years and a half. Receiving information that her master had arrived there in pursuit of her, she left. Both forwarded to Germain W. Logan, Syracuse. Expenses: passages, food, etc., $9. August 30th. Simon belonged to Mrs. Owens, Appomattox County, Virginia, forwarded from Philadelphia, sent to Syracuse, $4. Simon had been hired out to a man he did not like, and had run home several times, but had been returned. He took at last to the woods, and bent his steps northward, and in about 2 weeks reached Philadelphia. Food, 50 cents. August 31. Frances Hilliard from Richmond, Virginia, had hired her own time. Lived with her mother. But her husband having left a year ago on an English vessel and gone to Liverpool and afterward to Canada, she was anxious to join him. Having an acquaintance on board a Philadelphia steamer, she agreed to go away with him, and with great difficulty went on board on a stormy night, at midnight. Her friend concealed her till they arrived at Philadelphia. Her mother did not know of her intention of escaping, as Frances was fearful that her excitement might arouse her suspicion. Sent her forward. Passage and food, $3.50. That was Record of Fugitives, August 1855, from the papers of Sidney Howard Gay. Read by Frank Blissett.